Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Flow by Ana Nathalie. In today's class, we'll be doing a Vinyasa flow for the beginners, where we will be combining Adho Mukha Svanasana, the downward facing dog, and Surya Namaskar, as well as some other practices to strengthen and stretch our bodies. For this class, I do suggest 2 blocks, or at least 1 block. If you don't have a block, try to find a hardcover book that you could use instead. And I also suggest a blanket. You can also use a towel. I'm using a regular throw blanket. This is not a yoga blanket. What I found in my apartment, that's what I'm using. But we will be using it at the end of our practice to support our knees. So I do suggest for the pose that we will be doing that we use a blanket or at least a towel, or maybe even a fuzzy scarf. So that's that. I will move this out of the way and let's get into our class. So we're going to start in Sukhasana easy pose. This is a cross-legged easy pose, the most basic seated posture in yoga. One thing to keep in mind, take a look at your knees. So if you're sitting in the easy pose, Sukhasana cross-legged, and your knees are above your hip bones, so for example like this, I do suggest that you use a block or a hardcover book and place it right underneath your sit bones in the lowest position, like I'm holding here. So like this. And you sit on it with your sit bones. So your sit bones are firmly seated on the block. Okay, all right. This will give you a bit more length in your torso. So if I'm doing this even though my knees are not higher than my hip bones, but sometimes it's comfortable. Sometimes you need some support. So see how you feel, see how your body feels. This is my suggestion. So let's get started. So place your hands on your thighs, palms up or palms down, however is more comfortable. Close your eyes. And let's just breathe, inhaling through our nose and exhaling out of our nose. Let's just ground ourselves, calm our minds, and go deep inside of our body. Take an inhale through the nose and exhale out of your nose. Let's take about 5 breaths just like that, inhaling through the nose and exhaling out of the nose. Do it on your own pace. You don't have to follow my breath. Halfway there. 2 more breaths. On your last inhale, drop your chin towards your chest. And let's take some gentle head rolls for now clockwise. So you roll your head, right ear towards the right shoulder. Take your head back. Left ear, left shoulder. Chin to chest. Again, right ear to right shoulder. Take your head back. Left ear, left shoulder, chin to chest. One more time in clockwise direction. right ear, right shoulder. Take your head back. Left ear, left shoulder. Chin to chest. And let's do this in counterclockwise direction. Left ear, left shoulder. Take your head back. Right ear, right shoulder. Chin to chest. And 2 more times. Left ear, left shoulder. Take your head back. Right ear, right shoulder. Chin to chest. And last time, left ear, left shoulder. Take your head back. Right ear, right shoulder. Chin to chest. Lift your head. You may open your eyes and we'll do some shoulder rolls. So inhale, take your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, take your shoulders back down. One more time. Inhale, shoulders towards your ears. Take your shoulders back. And exhale, drop them down. One more time. Inhale, shoulders towards your ears. Take them back. And drop the shoulders. All right, you can take your block out of your sit bones, out of underneath you, and place it towards the side. We don't need it yet. And let's go on our hands and knees. So we're on our hands and knees. Our knees are directly underneath our hip bones, and our wrists are directly underneath our shoulders. Tops of the feet are pressing towards the earth. We're going to do some thread the needle. So what we're gonna do is inhale your left arm up towards the sky, open up your chest. And exhale, thread the left hand through, but don't put it onto the ground, hover. Inhale your left arm up. Exhale, thread it through and hover. One more time. Inhale your left arm up towards the sky. And exhale, thread it through. And this time place your left arm onto the ground and place your ear onto the ground. And you may extend your right hand forward. Let's stay here for 3 breaths. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out of the nose. On your next inhale, place your right hand by your face and inhale your left arm up towards the sky. Exhale, place the hand down onto the mat. We will repeat the same thing on the right side. So inhale, right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, thread it through and hover. Inhale, right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, thread it through and hover. We're working our core. Inhale, right arm up towards the sky. Exhale, thread it through and hover. And now place your right hand, right arm, and right shoulder onto the mat, including your right ear. And you can extend your left hand forward. And stay here for about 3 breaths. Inhaling and exhaling out of the nose. On your next inhale, place the left hand by your face and inhale your right arm up towards the sky. Open up your chest. Exhale, place the right hand onto the ground. Now, we've been gentle. We're gonna move into plank pose to fire up our core even more. So take your hands a bit forward. Extend your right leg back. Extend your left leg back. And inhale, find yourself in plank pose. Let's stay here for about 5 breaths. Inhaling and exhaling out of the nose. So breathe with me. Halfway there. Last inhale, and on the exhale, bend your knees and take your hips up and back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Let's stay here. You may bend your knees, bicycle, or we also call it walk the dog. This is my first time on the mat today, so I'm quite stiff, so if you are as well, walking the dog can feel really good. I also suggest, if this is your first time on the mat, like it's mine today, be generous and bend your knees and really try to press your belly button towards your hips. Let's stay here, 3 more breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling out of the nose. Now listen carefully. Inhale into plank pose. Exhale, bend the knees, downward facing dog. We're going to move dynamically like this for a few breaths, so stay with me. Inhale, plank. Keep your gaze forward. Exhale, bend the knees, downward facing dog. A few more times. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. 2 more times. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. And 1 last time. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look between your thumbs and walk to the top of the mat. Take your legs hip distance apart. Very generously bend your knees. Cup your elbows, drop your head, and hang like this like a rag doll. You might also sway side to side. Move your head, shake it yes, shake it no. And stay here. Really bend your knees and drop your belly onto tops of your thighs. Let's stay here. Keep breathing. And now drop your hands all the way down towards your mat, and like a yoga zombie, vertebra by vertebra, roll yourself up into a standing posture. Head is the last thing that comes up. roll your shoulders up and back. And find yourself in Tadasana, mountain pose. From here, take your feet together where your toes, big toes, and maybe even your heels touch. Inhale your arms up high towards the sky. Clasp your left wrist with your right fingertips. Take a breath and inhale, bend towards the right side. And look up towards your left arm. Exhale, center. Same thing on the right side. Take your right wrist with your left fingertips. Inhale and shift your spine towards the left side. Look up. And exhale, center. Drop your hands by your sides of your body. Okay. Now we're going to move through Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutation A. So from here, inhale your arms up high towards the sky. Look up. Exhale, bend your knees, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, place your hands onto the mat and take your legs into plank pose. Drop your knees towards the ground. Untuck your toes. And lower yourself all the way towards the earth. Chest and chin touch the ground. Inhale, Sphinx pose. Take your shoulders back. Exhale, place your forehead onto the ground. Take your hands by your lower ribs. Magnetize elbows into one another. Tuck your toes. Place your knees onto the ground. Firm your core. And inhale yourself into plank pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Let's stay here for 3 breaths in downward facing dog. Keep breathing, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, and exhaling. One last time. Take an inhale, shift onto your tippy toes, look between your thumbs and jump to the top of the mat. Inhale, upward, inhale, tabletop. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, hands by the heart center. Let's repeat this one more time. So inhale, lift your arms up and high, look up. Exhale, forward fold, bend your knees. Drop your head. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, take yourself into plank pose. Knees, chest, chin, drop towards the ground. Inhale, Sphinx pose. Exhale, place your forehead onto the ground. Take your hands by your lower ribs. Magnetize elbows into one another. Tuck your toes. Place your knees onto the ground. Firm your core and lift yourself into plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 breaths here. Take an inhale. Exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. and exhale. And one more time, take an inhale. Exhale. Inhale, go onto the tippy toes, look between your thumbs and jump towards the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. And exhale, hands through the heart center. All right, we're going to move through the Surya Namaskar A one more time. So, big toes touch, heels could be a little bit apart. Inhale, sweep your arms up and high. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, inhale your right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, bend the knee towards your right elbow. Inhale your right leg up and high. Exhale, knee towards your left elbow. Inhale your right leg up and high. Exhale, knee towards your nose. Reel around through your back. And then place your right foot between your hands. I have pretty long limbs, so I help myself to place my leg between my hands. So you might do the same thing if that's where you are. So from here, we are in high lunge. Place your left leg at 45-degree angle where your right heel and left heel are perpendicular to one another. And from here, suck the belly in, really engage your core, and lift yourself into Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Also, in this pose, you really want your hip bones to be parallel and facing forward. It's good to imagine that you have two flashlights on your hip bones, and the goal is for the light to look forward. So if you're in your practice where you can't really shift your hips forward, what you can do is take your right leg towards the right edge of your mat. And here you'll be able to shift your left hip a bit forward. Make sure that your right knee is right above the right ankle and that the entire left foot is pressing towards the ground. So from here, inhale your arms up and high, Virabhadrasana 1. Let's take 3 breaths in Warrior 1. So inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the nose. Keep breathing. On your next inhale, open up into Warrior 2. So now your left foot should be parallel to the mat. your hands are strong, and your drishti point, the point of reference, is towards the middle right finger. I'm already fired up. Okay, keep breathing, inhaling through the nose and exhaling out of the nose. 3 breaths in Virabhadrasana 2. On your inhale, straighten the right leg and heel toe your left foot once or twice. We're moving into Trikonasana triangle pose, and this is actually where I would suggest to use a block. If you don't have a block and if you didn't find a hardcover book, I will give you a different suggestion, but assume that, let's say you do have a block. Shift your left hip back, and for now I'll drop the block, but extend your right hand forward and shift your left hip all the way back and your torso forward as far as you can, and go as far as you can, and when you can't go anymore, drop your right hand, and here this is where you can have an adjustment. Either it goes on top of your shin, or take your block, I would suggest on the tallest height, and place it right next to your right pinky. Place your fingertips onto the block and inhale, open up. Oh. On every exhale, keep opening up your chest a bit more. So inhale and exhale, open up a bit more. Inhale and exhale. And if you have discomfort in your neck, you can take a look down instead of up. They'll also feel really good in your neck. But otherwise, you can look at your left thumb. So one more inhale. Exhale, bend your right knee. Place your left hand onto the ground. Remove the block. Inhale into plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank, knees. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, Sphinx pose. Exhale, place your forehead onto the ground. Take your hands by your lower ribs, magnetize elbows into one another, tuck your toes, firm your core, and inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. From here, inhale your left leg up and high. Exhale, left knee towards the left elbow. Inhale your left leg up and high. Exhale, left knee, right elbow. Inhale your left leg up and high. Exhale, left knee towards the nose. Really round your back. And exhale, place your left foot between your hands. Pivot on your right foot at 45 degrees. Place it at the 45-degree angle. Suck the belly in. Really firm your core. And inhale, Virabhadrasana 1. From here, make sure that your hip bones are looking forward, and if you have hard time shifting your right hip forward, take your left foot towards the left edge of the mat. And then you might even help with your hands. Just shift your right hip forward so that the hip bones are looking forward. Your left knee is above the left ankle. Inhale your arms up. And then exhale into warrior two. So you might need to move around a little bit here. So your right foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Your left knee is above the left ankle. Your hands are really strong. Imagine they're like very strong swords. You're a warrior, so these are very strong hands. And your drishti point is at the middle finger of your left hand. So let's stay here and breathe. 3 breaths in Virabhadrasana 2. From here, straighten your left leg and heel toe your right leg once or twice. You would need your block, so grab your block if you have one. Place it outside of the left foot by your left pinky toe. Take your right hips back. Extend your left hand forward and shift your torso all the way forward. And when you cannot go anymore, place your hand either on your shin or on the block and open up your chest. Raise your right arm up towards the sky. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, try to open up your chest a bit more. 3 breaths in Trikonasana, triangle pose. On your next inhale, lift your torso up lift your torso up, bend your left knee, and place your hands onto the mat. And take your left foot into plank pose. From here, drop your knees onto the ground. Take them as far apart as the width of your mat, having your big toes touch. Take your hips back, extend your hands forward. Balasana, child's pose. Place your forehead onto the ground. Let's stay here for 5 breaths. Breathe at your own pace. We're here for 5 breaths. Halfway there. And on your next inhale, sit up into a seated upward posture. And this is where I would suggest a blanket. So take a blanket or a towel or a scarf, and fold it. How should we fold it? Fold it into a rectangle. So fold it like I have it here into a rectangle and place it underneath your knees. So place your knees onto this blanket and take your knees as far wide as you can. We're basically going into a frog pose. So take your knees as far as you can, and your ankles should be perpendicular to your knees with your edges of your foot onto the mat. So this is the frog pose, and we're opening up our hips here. This is a very good posture. So you can either stay here as I do, or maybe if you're a bit more flexible, you can drop your elbows onto the ground. So we're going to stay here for about 10 breaths. So count these 10 breaths at your own pace. I will be keeping count as well. So when we're halfway through, I'll let you guys know, okay? All right, so frog pose. Keep breathing through your nose and exhaling out of your nose. Halfway there, 5 more breaths are left. On your next inhale, if you went on your forearms just like I did, go onto your hands and gently move your knees towards each other. And you can remove the blanket. We will no longer use it. We also don't need blocks anymore, so you can also put them to the side. So we're going to move on to our backs now. So lie down on your back. Lie down on your back, take your feet hip distance apart, and place your knees as much as close to your butt as you can, so that when you have your hands extended, your hands can touch your heels. We're going to move into the bridge pose. So keep your hands grounded onto the mat, and on the inhale, you lift your hips off the floor. And you can stay here, or if you're a bit more intermediate, clasp your hands behind your back and roll onto the tops of your shoulders. That's what I'm going to do. And let's stay here for about 5 breaths. Inhaling and exhaling out of the nose. Halfway there. On your next exhale, unroll your shoulders, unclasp your hands, place them by the sides, palms down, and gently lower your lower, middle, upper, middle, lower back, and then your hips onto the ground. And take your knees towards your chest, and you may clasp them with your hands. And maybe you'll roll side to side, really massaging the lower back. Maybe you'll do some knee circles clockwise, and then maybe counterclockwise. From here, extend your right leg onto the ground, followed by the left. Place your hands onto the floor, palms up. Shavasana, corpse pose. This is the final pose in the yoga asanas. This is how we finish our yoga practice. So really relax and let go here. We will stay in this pose for quite a while. We will be counting from 27 all the way down to 1. So on your inhale, count 27. On your then exhale. Then on the next inhale, 26. Exhale, inhale 25. Exhale, inhale 24. And so forth until you reach number 1, okay? So I'll keep count as well, and I'll let you know when we're at 1. All right, so relax, Shavasana. There's nothing left to do. Gently bring some movement to your feet and your hands. You may take your hands up and back and stretch like it's an early morning. Bend your knees and place your feet onto the ground. Roll towards your right side. You're in fetus pose, the first pose of the first yoga pose, the fetus. Place your left hand onto the mat and inhale into an upward seated position. You may keep your eyes gently closed. Take a seat into a Sukhasana, cross-legged, just like how we started. Take your hands in prayer by the middle of your chest. And thank yourself for coming onto the mat and doing this practice. And I thank you for doing this together with me. I hope you have a nice day or an evening, depending on what time of the day you were practicing. Thanks so much. And I'll see you in the next class. Namaste. Thank you guys. Bye.